Everyone relax and welcome to the Friday live stream. I can't see you guys, but you can see me, which is a weird power imbalance. This is where I record TOEFOP. Well, not really TOEFOP because we do it in the studio now, but this is where I record Two Guys, One Cup and some episodes of TOEFOP. This is my office. You can see I've got some James Fosdyke classics there. The Biggest Horseman of Norway, voted by you as the best artwork ever made for TOEFOP. And obviously when Charlie met Will from the Everyone Relax comic strip, which as Patreon subscribers, you'd all be very familiar with. Is the chat going? Feel free to drop stuff into the chat. This is all very new for me. I don't know what's going on. I just felt bad. I know I've missed a lot of live streams and I didn't want to let you guys down again. So I was like, well, at least let me test out this this YouTube thing that I've been talking about. I'm just going to put something in the chat and respond if you can. There we go. That is the culmination of 47 years of wit and poise. Okay. So I've got a response. Good one. Thank you, B Crane. How is everyone? I've had the worst chest infection for about 2 weeks now. I remember this time last year, I thought I had COVID. And I went and saw the doctor and she just said, no, that's just, there's lots of viruses going around now and you've probably got one of the many respiratory viruses. Can I just do something? It's just annoying me. I've got this wispy hair just hanging at the front and clean it up. There we go. Much better. I'm just going to say hello to some people. Fiona, thank you. I'm glad it works. Mel, but Chrissy boy. Hey, Charlie. First time I'm logging in. Member for years though. Oh, great. Okay. Have a great weekend. Mel's out of here. Mel, Chrissy boy. I don't know. I just this time of the year I get sick, and I'm wondering if it has something to do with the seasons. Anyway, I went and got my flu shot last week. Yeah, that's right. I got jabbed. I got jabbed up real good, and I will keep getting jabbed up. But I always get sick, and I'm just wondering if it's a seasonal thing. It seems to be from going from summer to autumn and from winter to spring. Not spring to summer. I never get sick doing that, and never autumn to winter. It's just those two changeovers. That's when I seem to be the most fucked up. Not that interesting. How is everyone going? Feel free to drop a question in the chat. Let me know how you think it's going, if things are going badly. Could you hear music at the start? Can you hear stuff from my soundboard if I do that? Can you hear that? Or is that not coming through? Because otherwise the start of the video is going to be very weird where I'm listening to the intro music and doing the intro to the show, but you guys aren't hearing anything. Oh, you can hear it. That's very good. That's very good. Is anyone in the chat from Adelaide? How's Gather Round going? I'm very jealous. I wish I could be there. All right. A lot of you can hear the music. That's good. Yes. Any Adelaideans, South Australians? This is weird. I normally just do this talking, and it's a little bit easier just for me to just kind of like, theater of the mind, be with you guys. But now I'm just looking at myself. I wish there was a way I could do this without seeing myself. Could I be like Mitch Hedberg? Just do these live streams with my eyes closed. That would be weird. Michelle says she's in Adelaide. Didn't even know Gather Round was on. Clearly not a listener to our other podcast, Two Guys, One Cup. Are there some people who normally we get like about, between sort of around about 50 people in the live stream. Is there less people because of the earlier time slot or because you can't listen on an app? Why have I not brought my audience from Patreon over to YouTube? Is there a reason for that? Did people get shitty at the technical issues? I honestly don't know what was happening with Patreon that time. It does do my head in a little bit because we've got a lot invested in Patreon. I've got a lot of stuff up there. And if they give substandard service, it's like, we did explore once upon a time doing like our own, subscription website. So you guys, we wouldn't have to pay Patreon. You guys would just subscribe directly to us. You get the exclusive content and all the, the perks of being a member, but it seemed really expensive. Patreon take care of a lot of that stuff, but it's annoying that I keep having these technical issues. First, the microphone didn't work. Do you remember that first live stream? And now I'd log on. It would say the stream was going, but there would be no time stamping. So it'd just stay at 0 and I couldn't see anyone. So I assume it's not working. Anyway, This is good. This is good. What do you guys want to talk about? I started watching White Lotus, one episode in. It's good. I know Michelle Monaghan. I mean, I don't know her. I'm sure she wouldn't remember me, but I have friends who are very friendly with her, and I've met her a few times, and she's a lovely person. It's nice to see her. I hope nothing bad happens to her because she's actually a nice person in real life. Convincingly playing, because the weird thing is she's playing, and I assume what will be explored further in the series is this kind of like, spoiled Hollywood diva or whatever, but she's actually one of the most down-to-earth, loveliest people. Married to an Australian. How about that? Nathan says, from the punter's side, the Patreon app is so buggy. Can only imagine how shit it is from the creator side. I mean, Will and I are quite simple, so it's not that bad in terms of we just put stuff up early and put bonus stuff up. But that's good to know. I mean, I'm sorry you're having a bad experience, but if we were to explore another way of, my concern is if we started up a subscription site, we'd lose half our patrons. Kind of like when we went to the listener wrap, for Two Guys One Cup, we showed a lot of listeners that we're slowly clawing back. People don't like change, and I get that. I'm not trying to change anyone. How am I sounding? Is this mic okay? I just muted myself. It looks very the levels look very low, but is it sounding good? That's what this is going to be, this live stream, is just me seeking reassurance from you. The poor people are in my chat. Because it sounded good in my headphones, but I can't, because I'm all new to this, I don't know how to monitor where my microphone's coming through. It seems like a very low level. Just let me know. Drop it in the chat. Is this sounding okay? Sound is A-okay. Thank you, Erin. What would I do without you? Last day of school for primary school kids today. Congratulations to all parents who are surviving the first term, other fellow parents. Sound is better here. Better than on Patreon. Interesting. And so I don't know if your kids still do this, if they're at primary school or not, but they did a color run muck-up day thing. Didn't that look like fun? I had no idea what a color run is or was. Like, it's a fun run. To the uninitiated, those who don't have kids or don't have interest in what school kids do, they do this thing called a color run, which is basically like a fun run fundraiser for the school. But they do the fun run and then they just get pelted with like colorful powder and stuff. I think it's based on like an Indian festival or an Italian festival. I'm not sure. I'm very ignorant. Geez, it was fun. The kids were having such a good time. I often think actually when, the few interactions I've had with Iona's primary school and, the school itself, the curriculum, the things they get to do, it's like kids have got it pretty good. I would have loved to have gone to this primary school. It's not as usual. It's just a public school, but it's just teaching methods are so much better now, and classrooms are so modern. And well, I'm sure in some schools they're not, but at this school, she wants for nothing. And it's a beautiful school. I didn't even have grass at my primary school, and I grew up in the city, like in Melbourne, Victoria, the Garden State, and we didn't have a blade of grass in my primary school. Concrete. We used to go at lunchtime. The teachers would let us cross the road, and our playground was the car park next to the church, like loose stone asphalt. There was a tennis court, the car park, and the church. And so we would just play like footy and cricket and whatever. What was huge when I was at school was, this is going to be a regional thing again. We called it brandy, the game where you throw a tennis ball at someone. Like, you normally starts off one person possesses the ball and they have to run around and have to hit people with the ball. And if they hit the person with the ball, then they sort of, they join their legion. And the only way to defend yourself is to either catch it, in which case you catch the ball, you throw it away, you live to fight another day. Or in my school, you could punch it away. Anyway, this got so popular at my school as like the lunchtime activity, like the entire year level. Sometimes it would cross year levels, and we'd have these massive games of brandy, which would start off with one kid with a tennis ball just running around pelting other kids, and then slowly that army would grow. So as the army would grow, the kind of legion of ball throwers, they'd be able to coordinate and corner someone and toss a ball around, and became really strategic. I loved it. I miss those days so much. I don't see many kids playing Brandy anymore. Is it just a game that, like, every time I drop Iona off at school, I don't see any kids playing Brandy or at lunchtime? Is that you just can't play it anymore because you can't throw balls at people's heads? Anyway, think about it. I'm just gonna have a look through the comments. Um, uh, and Mel says, I've only just revived my Patreon app, so I haven't seen the alerts before. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, maybe tell a friend. There's a live stream happening on YouTube. Brick wants to know, has anyone noticed the weird ass or the weird as fuck emojis on the YouTube keyboard? No, I've never noticed them before. Anthony says, some people are stuck in the Patreon app watching rather than here. Oh, so it shares through to the Patreon. So you can watch it on Patreon. Does that make sense? But then how do they interact? I don't understand anything. This is essentially a time capsule of a man slowly like getting more out of touch with technology and the youth. Brick says his primary school had a field of bindies instead of grass. You remember Tanbark? I mean, I know Tanbark still exists, but Tanbark was everywhere and it was always like full of splinters. What a weird thing to put in a playground. I mean, now they have like that vulcanized rubber, and that's awesome. Can you imagine though, like if you take that, and I'm talking to a certain generation here, my fellow Gen Xers, if you'd taken that spirit of kind of like self-destruction from the 80s and applied it to playgrounds today, shit, we could have had some fun. You know, just think about what we could have done. Just tossing ourselves off the monkey bars and landing on that rubber and bouncing straight back up. Cartoon physics. I'm sure that's what would happen. Nathan says tackle Red Rover in primary school was brutal. I'm assuming tackle Red Rover is the same as British Bulldog. That's where like one person starts in the middle, everyone runs across, and again, it's a similar thing. You tackle one person. It's like, I guess it's like a playground version of the Living Dead, right? Start off with one zombie, he bites someone, then more zombies, and then the virus spreads, and suddenly everyone is trying to tackle. There is there's like a local bolo where I live, and there's an area that is like it's co-owned. It's like a sports club, and so there's like a bistro and a pub and all that kind of stuff. But there's also all these ovals and stuff attached to the bolo itself, and there is a area in it where all the kids play, and it's called the Cage. It's like the Thunderdome for young kids. I remember the first time I went there, I saw like, it must have been a game of Red Rover or British Bulldogs underway, and this poor kid like was being dragged by 20 other kids by his legs, being dragged on his back across the grass. It's fucking insane. Every man for himself. More like Thunderdome. Fiona called it British Bulldogs too. Anthony says, I picked up something COVID or flu-like at the Swans Demons opening round game last year, explaining the rules to some Norwegians who thought they were going to see cricket at the SCG. Do you notice now that, like, I know that this is not necessarily a conversation just for football people, but footy media and footy influencers are everywhere now. Like, it feels like it's exploded in the last couple of years. I feel like every second video is like an influencer doing one of those stories about, here's my day at the football. First, I went and got myself a scarf. Got to look good. Then I went to the ground. Wow, these turnstiles are old school. Then I went up the stairs. Got to get a pie. Like, there's heaps of that shit happening now. And I thought it would be good. I thought more people talking about footy would make me happy because I like football, but I think it's too much. I mean, there's a simple solution, right? Just fucking don't look at it. Get off social media. Don't look at any of this stuff. But I do, and I regret it, and I'm kind of jealous as well. I mean, how do these people make money? Is it like you get paid, like sponsors sponsor you, so you build up your profile, then sponsors come to you? Is that the idea? Because it's so saturated, I just can't imagine they'd be bringing in a lot of money unless you're like, right at the pointy end. Aaron says, I'm doing a re-listen of the entire Tofop catalogue. Oh, RIP, Aaron. It's a pretty cool way of reliving the last decade. Maybe future historians will be using Tofop to understand the 21st century someday. God forbid. It is interesting though. I was thinking about TOEFOP, or at least everyone relaxes, we call it now. But TOEFOP specifically, it would have to be one of the longest running podcasts in Australian history, like continuously running. I know there was a little hiatus when I went away for a year or so, but the feed was still ticking over. People leave bands and come back. You don't say the band breaks up. Anyway, so we deserve something, right? As we say, we are the oldest, not necessarily the most successful or the most popular. But we are the oldest, and that deserves some kind of reward. Order of Australia. What else can you get? Kings of Moomba. What else? What other honors do you get besides those two things? Order of Australia. I mean, Queen's or King's birthday list or wishes or something. You could read out. Imagine that. Will Anderson, Charlie Clausen, TOEFOP. My favorite episode was the one where they talked about Charlie going back in time and having sex with Kathy Bates. Always thought it was awfully funny. Awfully funny. Be worth it for that, actually. I can consider myself a bit like a monarchist, but it could work. Mel Chrissy Boy says British Bulldog was great, but we had a game I loved called Brandy, which was like hide and seek. We'd get to ping a volleyball at them, then gang up to find others. I just started talking about that. We didn't use a volleyball though. We used a tennis ball. And you know what? Like me and my friend, we took it so seriously. What was his name? Chris Coleman, I think it was. Crazy fucking story. He actually is a TOEFOP fan, or he was a TOEFOP fan, because he came up to me after a gig once, a live show we'd done. And he was like, do you remember me? And then, yeah. So anyhow, he and I, we took it so seriously because in Brandy, you could deflect a ball, but you had to punch it. You had to deflect it with your fist. And we took it so seriously, we started wearing like one glove out at lunchtime, like our punching glove, so that when people threw the ball at us, we could punch it. I fucking miss it. I honestly do. Like that was, if somehow you could download like crystal clear memories and have a catalog of them that you could go. So just say you pay a company. This is actually a good premise for a film. You pay a company to go in and extract some of your favorite memories that you could just go back and relive at any time. That would be one of them. Just give me a 45-minute lunch break as an 8-year-old playing Brandy. Imagine if I go back there and I find out that I got molested by a priest. Sorry, that's not funny, but I mean, it is kind of funny. Like, oh, this is one of my most cherished memories. And it was like, oh, yes, that primary school was fucking notorious. Anyway, I'm sorry for joking about that. If that triggered anybody, I should have probably given you a warning. I didn't know I was going to say it, but it did make me laugh. Anthony says it's an influencer phase. It will pass. Football is the other religion, especially in Melbourne, says Elish. Yes, it is. But it's a religion, but I'm enjoying it less because it's so saturated. Anthony thinks we could be the kings of Moomba. Christy says, Brandy was banned at my school after the tennis ball was covered in duct tape and someone lost an eye. I seem to recall a similar thing happening at my school. Some kids want to get some swing on their throw, which is pretty cool. I mean, that is actually awesome. It's like a tracer bullet. You can sort of see where the ball's going. You can curve it. It's like that movie Wanted with Angelina Jolie. They curve the bullet. That's the dumbest fucking thing. Like, I know we were bereft of like original ideas in the 80s, in the early 2000s for film ideas, but the idea that there's a League of Assassins who have perfected bending a bullet, like it's the most lame ass $2 store ripoff of the Matrix I can think of. Tamsin says we actually play a version of Brandy at netball, except you have to touch the ball to the person instead of wing it at them. Works on team skills because you have to gang up on people. Yeah, I can see that. Not as fun as throwing a ball as hard as you can, though. Aaron, if you want to start an Australians of the Year campaign, I'd be 100% behind that. What do we think of the live stream? Are we enjoying it? Should I do this again? Do we go back to just the audio one? I don't mind this. getting more used to seeing myself. Like if there's a few more people. Not that you guys haven't been great, but normally get like double this number when we do the audio live stream. No, it's fine. This is the first time I've done it. We had to do a test run. So what better test run than an emergency? But maybe I'll run a poll this week on Patreon and see if people prefer the audio. Because you guys, I think, are kind of, I don't want to say hipsters, but I could imagine a world in which you're like, no, man, we just like the audio. We're not into this video stuff. You don't have to be one of those influencers who goes to the football and documents every aspect of your life. Well, look, I didn't really get dressed up for the event. I've got blotches on my skin. I'm kind of wearing a shitty old stained t-shirt. I did turn a light on so you guys could see me, but next time it will be better and be more prepared. I'll have like, waiting room trailer and all that kind of stuff. But if you like this, just let me know. And I'll do it again. Probably won't do too much longer because it took me about fucking 10 minutes of fucking around, and I was only really going to be doing this till 8. It's now almost 8:30. No, Ian, I don't own a stained shirt, as in like stained with armpit stain and coffee stains. I don't know why I continue to buy white t-shirts because all I do is get them dirty. Hi, Michael. Welcome. You joined just as I was saying. I'm probably going to finish up soon. I'll do 25 minutes. That seems like a fair bargain. You guys had to wait. I was running late, but I do have to get back to some work. So I'll do another. I'm looking at the countdown clock. I'm going to do another 3 minutes. So feel free to ask any questions. Michael's been over Patreon talking to. Did you not get the post where I said I'm over at YouTube? All right, look. The numbers have grown. We started at 12. We're now at 17. I'll do this again, but we need to get more than 17 people in here because it's more fun when you guys are all interacting and talking and stuff. I know who you're talking about. Ian Stained the band. I was making a joke. Anthony says some weeks it's easy to hide that I'm listening to the audio. Right. Okay. I get that. But if you have YouTube Premium, you can listen to the audio of this. Can't you? I do that with Broden's show when they do the Wednesday live stream. Anyway, I don't know how many people are watching on Patreon. How do I tell? Let me just go back to Patreon and see what's going on because I didn't know I could see what was happening online. How do I see what's going on Patreon? I don't know if I can do this because I'm the host. Okay. All right. Oh, there's lots of comments over there. Okay. Oh man, it's the first time I've done it. I can't expect it to know what the fuck this is, but look, it's pretty much like the live stream. I'll post this to Patreon for people tomorrow who couldn't join us live, and I wasn't reading them, Michael. So you're commenting under the video on Patreon, but I wasn't reading them. Okay. Mel Chrissy Boy says, I like the video, but my family's wondering why I'm watching some guy talking by himself. That's what a live stream is. Don't you follow any political commentators or anything? But the good thing about this is we can think about getting some guests. I could maybe even get Will on. Not at the moment because he's got about 1,000 things on. It's comedy festival time. But this could be something that we can do. Just a Friday live stream, just to fucking shoot the shit. Get guests on. Get like a Dave Anthony on. Get anyone on. We can look at the whole world at our fingertips now that I've mastered fucking live streaming. Oh boy. Mike the Third, or even podcast Mike. Oh my God. I just realized I can basically just dial in anyone. This is huge. I couldn't do that on the Patreon when it was just the audio live stream. This might be the solution we've all been waiting for. Do you know what I'm talking about? Anthony says, I don't think the numbers were showing. They are. I can see there's 16 people in here. That's not huge. What hat am I wearing? It's called Ringers. It's like a sort of country and western inspired fashion brand. They do sort of like cool streetwear, but like country inspired. It's like it's a rodeo bull. Michael says, I've been doing this kind of live streaming on other platforms for nearly a decade. It's pretty normal for me. Yeah, I agree. I see people talking solo on YouTube all the time, or at least I watch the catch-up videos, so it's not that unusual. Anyway, this has been fun. I'm glad that the fuck up on Patreon sort of forced me to do this, because otherwise I would never have got round to it. And now I've done it once. Hopefully it'll go a lot better the next time. But like I said, I'll run a poll. Let's find out whether this was worth it. And yeah, thanks for joining me. I'm sorry that this is what I look like on a Friday night when I've got a chest infection and I've still got work to do, and I really would rather be watching the football. In fact, I might just check the score. Yeah. All right. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to do some music play out, but then what do I do? How do I get off? Do I turn my camera off or something? And here's the music. That's fucking pathetic.